morning and welcome to my channel PawfectPastimes. My name's Amanda. My friends call me Amo and I live in Dorset in the southwest of England with my husband and my 3 dogs, who you will see coming and going beside me. Welcome. If you're new here, you're very, very welcome. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you're coming back, thank you for coming back. It's lovely to have you here. Please leave comments. I try and reply to all the comments, and it's lovely to have a conversation with you. This can be a bit one way otherwise. I'm just talking to a piece of glass in front of me, and it's nice to interact with some of you. So how are you all? It's neighbours doing some DIY stuff next door, so if you hear anything strange, it's the neighbour. It's been a bit wet, hasn't it? I went to the dentist in my local big town, which usually takes me 25 minutes to get to on Tuesday, and it took me an hour and 15 just to get halfway there to the actual dentist itself. It was so flooded, and it's been getting worse ever since, really. But we're okay where we are up here. We're quite high up. We do have a stream through the valley, and all the meadows are very flooded at the moment. They've moved the sheep and everything. But yeah, it's been a bit strange, hasn't it? Monday I did take Gwyn up to the golf course in the afternoon when it was lovely and sunny, and it was still dry then, and we had a quick 9 holes of golf. I am intending on not using a buggy this year. I want to get on with the game as much as I can. I'm going to try and get a bit fitter. This cancer's annoyed me, and I'm determined to do my best, I think. So we went up and had a nice long walk. 9 holes is, I don't know, 3 or 4 kilometres, I suppose. She enjoyed herself. We had a bit of fun trying to teach her that my bally isn't her bally. She got there in the end. What else have I done? On the Wednesday, I went for a nice walk with my friend Natalie, and I'll put a few pictures in at the end, I think. We went round our local little forest, and it was lovely. That was another good 6.5 kilometres, I think. So I was racking up the kilometres and Thursday I actually had a game of golf. It was only a 14-hole game, so I knew I could probably do the 14 holes. I still haven't done a full 18 holes. We'll try. But my golf is, and the dog walks are I feel like it's banking up credit so that I can sit on my bum and knit or sew or play in my space here. So last week was quite good, but everywhere I walk now it's just flooded, so we've had to curtail a lot of that. Anyway, Thursday night turned out to be interesting. John had another one of his weirdo nosebleeds and ended up with an ambulance coming to get him because I can't drive at night now. The chemo has affected my eyesight quite badly, and night driving is quite a challenge anyway with the modern I'm going to burn your retina headlights. So I don't do night driving at all anymore. So we had to get an ambulance out, and I picked him up yesterday, and they cauterised the bleed and everything in his nose, but it was all a bit of a to-do. So that's this week's drama. Oh, and my iPad's decided it doesn't want to take a charge anymore, so I have to work off my phone and my laptop, which I am devastated with because I love my iPad. I do everything on my iPad. So that's all this week's drama's done. I'm hoping not to have too many next week. I'm not sure what I've got lined up for next week, but I have got a bit of knitting, a bit of sewing, a fair bit of sketching, and some things that have come in through the postal systems, and I think I'll get on with that. So first of all, I am wearing my Mayala. It is a slip stitch design. It's not colour work, and it's by Renee Callahan, and I've made this in Drops Nepal. and I can't remember the colours. I will put everything down below so you can find out there. I will find out what the colours are and put it down below. Now, Drops Nepal is supposed to be a hand wash. Well, I put this in the machine on the wool wash. Most machines have a gentle wool wash now, and it comes out beautifully every time. I wore this all to Iceland. It was the only wool wear I took. We only had an underseat bag and one small hold bag between the two. So I decided to only take one woolen jumper, and because of that I threw it in the machine, and it just comes up beautifully every time. So I definitely recommend Drops Nepal. Perhaps a little snag there I should sort out later. And something that I had on the needles when I last spoke to you last weekend, which would have been last Saturday. I was trying to get one out yesterday, but obviously with John being in hospital and everything, it was all a bit upside down, so it's today. What I had was the Spiritual Guardian Cowl by Rebecca Williamson, and there we go. There's two heights. There's the two repeat there, and there's a three repeat there. She gives you instructions for a DK version and a full ply version. As you can see there, yeah, DK fingering lace weight. You can do any combination you like, I think, because it's just a nice tube. I made mine in some Etika Eco Soft E2S colour, I think. I made one of my sweaters in it, and this is mine. It is incredibly soft, very, very light, and it doesn't itch. I thought I'd try this because when I wear my sweater that I made in this, I don't get an itch at all with it. So with the risk of messing up my hair, which is actually behaving today, okay, I can wear it in several ways. It comes up, it does stand up quite nice, and I do like a standing up cowl. I don't like getting cold under my ears. I get terrible headaches and earaches if under my ears gets cold. So this snuggles in my coat beautifully, and you can do that thing that they do now with the double doodad. But yes, I'm very pleased with this. It knitted up very quickly, lovely cable patterns, very warm. There's several options of what you can make it in. You can make it your own anyway. Let's try and get it off. There you go. Am I all tidy again now? So this is beautiful string cables going up each side, and then these lovely panels in the middle, and they come and go from the ribbing each side. You could do a third one, and that would make it stand up even more. As you saw, that comes up quite a way anyway, and in my coat it tucks up nicely around where I want it. So that is this week's first finish. That is the Spiritual Guardian Cowl by Rebecca Williamson. I will put all the details down below. I haven't any more knitting finishes, but I did move along a bit with my sleeve for my Compton, which I spoke about in the last podcast. This is I'm doing a more rapid increase than that is suggested for my size. I'm up to there on it. I'm at the round and round stage, bar the little rib that goes up and up in there, and I'm increasing every 6 rounds. I have quite large upper arms, so I don't want it too clingy, and it is a fairly clingy sleeve. So I'm about halfway up that one. I did speak about this a lot in the last podcast last week. There's the heart on the sleeve. which is a very nice bit of cabling. I do love a bit of cable. Nice way of making the round top. Can you see there? She has a little special technique. It's from the knitting shed. So let's see if I can find the big picture. I have shown you this many times. So I've done the body up to the divide for the arm, and I've done half of one arm, and I am getting on with it. I'm finding it quite hard going now. It's on the monotonous side, so I don't want it to be on Sleeve Island, so I'm trying to do a little bit of it quite regularly to get it done. Now I'm through the heart, it's just the round with the occasional rib part. I am an English flicker, and pearl doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever, whether it you know, some people hate doing pearls. I guess if you're a thrower, you've got a longer travel than if you're doing a knit. Whereas a flicker, I just do the same thing. I use both hands at the same time. I don't have a static hand, so they work together, and it doesn't make any difference whether it's a knitting or a pearl to me. Because I did think about perhaps I should turn it inside out, so I'm knitting more, but it doesn't really bother me, to be honest, because the background is all inside out stocking stitch. It's the back side, the pearl side. So that is the other thing I've been working on, and since I have finished the cowl, I know I've got a couple of other cowls, the Cambo cowl and the Kinross, and the Inniskillen I started. Was it the Inniskillen one I started? But they're just pickups anyway. So I know a couple of you in the comments said just cast on. So I did. I just cast on the Dreyma. There's the Dreyma by Jen Steingass. She recently had discounts on their website, and I bought this, and I bought the Goldwing. But I like the Dreyma since seeing it on A Lovely Yarn, Amber's podcast, and the fact that she used Drops Air, and I chose Drops Air as well, and that's my main colour. I think it's 55, and that's my contrast. That is really quite bright in there. It is quite a dark mulberry. You'll sing it quite bright, but yeah, that's 59 in Drops Air. Yeah, and that's 55. It's a warm brown grey, very lovely neutral. So yes, I did cast on another sweater, but because it's such a contrast to the Compton, and I'm just doing the roundy round bit on the Compton now, I wanted something that would occupy my mind while John was in hospital and I was a bit all over the place with it all. I was you know, obviously not in a good place with him being away, but worried and things. So yes, on I cast. I have chosen the roll neck. She gives you a rolled neck option or a ribbed neck. I've forgotten the name of the lady. Yeah, Jen Steingass. Sorry, I did say that. So you have the rolled neck version or the ribbed version, and like Amber says on her, she quite likes the way that it appears out from under the roll, and she's quite right, it does look lovely. And this is so soft. I did my swatch, which is pinned out on my cutting table behind, and I got Gauge. It's a nice dense fabric, but it's still soft and beautiful, and of course it's fairly dense because of the floats on the back, isn't it? So it will be nice and snug round the neckline anyway. So I'm merrily working away on that, and it's a nice bit of colour work, and I can't see it taking too long to do the actual yoke section. And because I am using 4.5s for the yoke section, I'll go down to 4 for the body section, I don't think it'll take too long to get going actually. Beautiful yarn, not one I've used before, even though I do use your Drops yarns. So I'm going to finish up here, start the editing, and probably get on with a few more rows of this. And maybe sit in front of the fire later on with John, who's desperately trying to keep warm at the moment. Bless him. He lost a lot of blood. But we're working on getting him well again. So that is my new cast on for this week. The Dreyma by Jen Steingass. So I'm up here at the moment. I don't think that will take too much longer. And that lovely rich magenta colour is beautiful. There's a fair bit of black in it. The tube in this one is black. The polyamide tube is black in there. Right. So that is my 2 sweaters that I have underway. I won't be casting on another sweater until I've got one off the hook. And as you know, my little basket there has got a few projects in it, but I'm being good. Other woolliness this week, I had a lovely delivery from Only in Denmark. I have had a few of their advents over the past 3 years, I think 3-4 years worth of advents, and it's a lovely yarn. And they've recently had a sale, so I decided to purchase one of their kits in the sale. The kit that caught my eye was in this beautiful chocolate brown with these I think they probably slip stitch kind of patterns over it, but it was definitely the colour that caught my eye on that. So I bought the kit, and the picture that came on the kit, there you go, it's the Xenia sweater. You can actually see the marks there. Nice collar on it. I may adapt the collar slightly. Let's see if there's any other pictures in here. No, there is when you buy it, you get a few extra pictures, but nothing extra on the pattern. No, other than the cover picture there. So I bought the kit for this from Onling in the chocolate brown, and it's a nice, it looks a nice shape, a nice kind of oversized. It's a drop shoulder, I believe, and I don't think I've got anything drop shoulder. Yes, it's a drop shoulder. So I thought I'd give that a go anyway and see how that sits on me. And this is the yarn. I'll take it out the packet so you can actually see. And I do believe it is called Chocolate. Number 3. There's the colour there. 56, no 26. 21 stitches. So it is a 3-ply I don't know what number 3 is. I think it's a 4-ply, 3-ply. Gosh, I'll be here for years. Might even be a DK. Oh yeah, it does say DK worsted. Organic merino, DK worsted. 21 stitches. That's quite a fine one though, isn't it? Anyway, that's the colour. So I'm going to put that in an organza bag I've got hanging around somewhere. Oh, there's one there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 balls came there. And the pattern for Xenia. And guess where that will be going? That can go in that bag, ready to pick up when I've got a bit of space to do that one next. Well, not next. I've got a lovely slip over I'd like to get going. I nearly did that instead of the Dreyma, but no, I want the Dreyma. Okay, so that is everything yarny this week. I've been a bit busy with life stuff, so I didn't get too much sit down and knit time, but I was definitely glad to get the Dreyma underway when I was under a bit of stress, and it just took my mind off of a few things. But I do have one more finish this week, and it's not a knitted thing, it is a sewing thing. And I did show you these little kits that I got from Liberty Bell, the Sadie and Patch Mystical. That's them. They were in my kitted up basket. And here they are. I'll show you Miss Sadie first. They come with all the little bits and pieces. Got a thimble there, spools, everything. And this is Patch. And he comes with his scissors and wire for his spectacles. And they got the tape measures, and they were such fun to make. And they even come with little wooden bases so they stand up properly. So I'm definitely going on a bit of a mice thing at the moment. Look at those little scissors. Aren't they sweet? Very pleased with them. I have another pair in the basket to make, so I'll possibly get on with those sometime soon, just when I fancy a little bit of stitchy. And they can go up there with Froggo and the hair, which I did last year. I'm going to have a little bit of a sort out on my little shelf there and see if I can find them a decent bit of home. It'd be nice to find a little house or something, a mouse house, wouldn't it? I'll see what I can keep my eye open for, and I'll do the other ones as well. So that is Sadie and Patch Mystical by Liberty Bell. I was very pleased with their size actually. They come out good. Good few inches high, but everything's in the kit there. Love them. That's something else out of my to-do box basket. Okay, so that is everything knitty and stitchy this week. The only other thing I did manage to do some of, but I failed at the 30-day part of it, is my sketchbook challenge. At the end of last week I did show you where I was up to. I think I'd managed to show you day 15 last time. Well, I have worked on some more. I got up to day 24, which was, when was 24? It was last week, wasn't it? Yes, and I haven't done any of the last week, which was the last week. So I was a bit cross with myself. These are supposed to be quick sketches, not too in depth. I didn't give it anything more than 20 minutes. Most of them are sort of 5-10 minutes at that. So I did achieve that, and I'm hoping to finish the 30 days soon. Obviously last week was a bit busy, and since Thursday with John in the hospital, it went out the window a little bit. So I got up to 15, and next day was 16, and it was mouse. The prompt was mouse, and I had a bit of watercolour left in my palette, so I just used the colours that were there in the palette. Very strange colours for a mouse, but there you go. Then there was something that smells. Well, we'd just come back from Iceland, as you know, on day 17. Something that smells, and I did a geyser, which was the sulphurous smell of Iceland. Sadly, I didn't see anything in the reel, but we did see them when we did the Fly Iceland and things like that. I think I'd have to go back in the spring, summer to go and see them properly. The winter is definitely the Northern Lights and the pools time of year, I think, because the daylight is so short. You have to go back in the summer to see the rest of it, otherwise you'd run out of time all the time. Daylight. So that was something that smells. Day 18 was bird. One thing I did do when I was over there was take a few videos and photos of birds in the harbour and at the lake. And there we got a hooper swan, a grey-lag goose, red-breast mergansers with their punk hairdo, and an eider duck. They are literally quick sketches I took off a video that I'd taken when we were down in the harbour. Very interesting to see different bird life. It was I found that quite interesting. It's a bit like if we up here go down to Australia and the Southern Hemisphere stars, it just doesn't look right because they're different stars. So seeing different birds in normal locations that you'd expect to see birds in is quite exciting. Day 19 was ballpoint pen, and I just did some doodles with a ballpoint pen. Interesting what tones you can get just using a common or garden ballpoint pen. 20 was tropical leaves. I did the thing with the Beryl handwriting pen again, and this was one of those blind continuous line drawings. I found a photograph online of some tropical leaves, and without looking, just did you know, a blind contour, and then touched in with some plain water, which made the Beryl handwriting pen ink bleed. You can sort of make out tropical leaves there. 21 was ribbon. I did that for the ballpoint pen, so when it came to ribbon, I just did a quick one of those again. It's interesting how much movement you can get in a flat thing with a bit of thought and a few minutes. 22, something I used today. So I used my coffee mug and a Beryl handwriting pen. Quick watercolour with a slight bit of crayon over the top, which is something I do quite regularly. I did with a mouse as well, just watercolour and then touching with some colouring crayon, colouring pencil. Day 23, paws and claws. I literally did quick sketches of the dog paw before they moved. 5 minutes, quick. The dogs have a habit of moving, and we haven't seen any dogs today. That's because the fire is lit and they're in there keeping daddy company. And day 24, which is the last day I've got up to so far, it was night time. So I did a watercolour sketch and I think that gets nighttime across. Quite pleased with that. We got every day we had a guest tutor doing some techniques, and we had talks, and there was live Zooms and all sorts of things. So it wasn't just a prompt a day, it was quite an in-depth course. And this is just a quick sketch from what the tutor did that day, an idea anyway. And I was quite pleased with mine. Just a monotone. So I'm up to day 24. Got 6 more days to catch up on, which I'm sure I will over the next week. I'm not too worried. My access to it all is forever. It doesn't just disappear. So that is lovely, and possibly what I will be getting on with. So I've brought you all up to date with what I'm up to. I can hear the tumble dryer beeping at me, so that's finished. I had a fair bit of washing to do after John was being in hospital. It's jolly chilly today. It keeps raining, and I've managed to actually do this between the rain showers. We are forecast a lot more rain. I'll put a couple of photographs in now of Gwyn on a walk with Jake, her friend, my good friend Natalie's dog, and I will leave you this week, and I hope you're all well, and so stay safe, stay creative, and I will hopefully see you all again soon. Bye.